Hey everybody, PM Kester here with How to Take a Break. And this week I am changing from the Restarting Your Life series a little bit and digging a little deeper to talk about some of the top life advice I've received. This is 4 pieces of advice that has changed my mentality. So I want you to get pencil and paper because I'm going to get you to share your advice that you've heard over the years in the comments as well. So go get pencil, paper, maybe your iPad to type it into. Get something to drink. You'll see me drinking my coconut water, and let's get into the discussion. All right, before we get into those quotes, I want to thank everyone so much for subscribing to my channel. If you have just wandered upon this channel and you have not subscribed yet, I would appreciate it if you do. It will help me with my growth goals, and I enjoy interacting and I enjoy the support. You can also follow me on Instagram and at many other places, and all of that is in my description box below this video. But let's get into 4 pieces of advice that changed my mentality. So I'm gonna let you know right now that some of this advice may sound like something that you yourself has heard, right? I love how when you talk to other people, you find out that we're not all so different. We all may have the same type of mama, auntie, cousin, friends that are kind of saying similar things to us. So you might hear that. We all tend to quote from movies and regurgitate certain quotes when we're trying to encourage people. So I know definitely one of them will be something that you've heard that way. But in the end, I hope it's something that you find encouraging and something that you will take and use as you move forward for some inspiration and life advice, because that's the purpose of this, right? So number 1, 4 pieces of advice that have changed my mentality. All right, let's kick things off. Number 1, 4 pieces of advice that changed my mentality. Number 1, I can only control what I can control. This was a pivotal piece of advice that unfortunately I learned after a health scare. I've talked about it in earlier podcasts. Also, I believe in an earlier video, maybe the 42 things about me, one of my birthday videos. I kind of give some history and talk about how going to the hospital thinking that I had a heart attack ended up being a wake-up call. It was actually almost a stroke. But in the months that unfolded as we tried to figure out what was wrong with me, why was my heart not doing what it was supposed to do, and then there was like this whole freaking health apocalypse with me. There were so many things that came out during that time, and one of it was via therapy and going to the doctor and having like a really good team of doctors, a good pulmonologist, a good cardiologist that were just really helping me peel back the layers on my life in a way, and come to terms with how my health was correlated to how I tried to control everything. And at that point in my life, I was trying to prove that I could be Superwoman. I could be the mom that did it all, the wife that did it all, the person that had to keep all the balls going, and it was to the detriment of my health. And one of the things that someone sent me was this phrase, was this advice, and told me to take it to heart, which is I can only control what I can control. And in doing that, embracing that, for me, it changed how I was able to communicate with my kids. It changed knowing peace in my life. Because if I'm being honest, as I sit there now, I don't think I had a great deal of peace then. And okay, y'all, it has been hilarious trying to record this video today, but I'm enjoying it, and it's really actually making me deep think about a lot of stuff. Okay, where were we? 4 pieces of advice that changed my mentality. Number 2. This is a piece of advice that a former mentor of mine, she's now no longer with us, but it's so interesting how people's words and things stay with you, because every time I find myself dealing with a difficult person, a person where I'm like, this person doesn't really know me. Why don't they like me? Or why are they treating me this way? I can hear her say, Phalia, hurt people hurt people. It used to frustrate me when she used to tell me that, because I'm like, they're so mean. Why are they don't even know me? Like, how could they say something about me and they don't even know me? They haven't even tried to talk to me. But what I have definitely found that it's done is that whenever I face these situations now, I immediately hear her say that. And I think it does what it was intended to do, which is to get me to pause and to think about that person's humanity, to think about what things going on in their present time or things that have happened to them in their past have shaped this interaction that they're having with me, or shaped this preformed opinion about me. Because, you know, that can happen to a lot of us, right? You know, we're all shaped by things that have happened to us, good or bad. And a lot of us are walking around with just like such bad experiences, such negativity inside of us, and it causes us to lash out at people who've done nothing to us. And I think that her saying hurt people allows me to pause and to think about that. Does it make them a good person? No, it doesn't, but it does let me pause and think about the humanity of the situation and the humanity of that person, before I immediately get up in my feelings and I'm like, why are you like that? Or that person's mean. I'm saying it's like, hey, hurt people hurt people. I'm not gonna win everybody over. I don't know their situation. Let's move on. Number 3. This is one that you probably would have heard. It comes from one of my favorite movies, Black Panther. And there is a scene where King T'Challa is getting ready to fight for his throne. And I feel like this is repeated like in the second Black Panther as well. But there's a whole thing where it's like, remember who you are, because he's to the point where he's getting beaten, he's getting beat bad, and he hears his sister yell that from the crowd, and it kind of amps him up, and he remembers who he is the son of, what he is supposed to be inheriting, the power that he is supposed to have. And so a couple of months ago, I was charged with sending out motivational emails to the people in my group. And I set up a story and scenario, and I included like a clip where this is said. And it was during a crazy time where I was dealing with some opposition as well. And I had gotten to a low point myself. And my mentor sent me that email and was like, you need to take your own advice. You need to remember who you are. You need to remember why you are in this position, why you are the person that you are, with your greatness, with your skills. And I think it's the perfect life advice. It's the perfect mentality changer, because I think we have to learn to boost ourselves up. Because if you don't, it's so easy to be torn down. And so there has to be something inside you, something, some quote, something that you hear someone saying to pull you back so that you remember who you are, so you can walk in your authority, so you can walk in your power, your might. Remember who you are. Yeah, I like that. All right, finally. This is something that was actually in the Bible, and this is the same mentor sent this to me. And this is one of those things that has been said to me over the years, because I grew up in the church. But I feel like I have not walked in a great understanding of this until recently. I have been at my job, my current job, for 10 years. But for maybe like a year or so ago, I was in a role and it was not a good fit. And the people were not nice. And it seemed like every time something came up, I got blocked. No chance of progression. Like I was just being pushed to the side. And I had finally found an area that I wanted to go into. And I was kind of scared to bet on myself. But was reminded that I would not have just randomly found this role, because this position just popped up, if it was not for my gifts. And when I accepted this role and was walking in this role, I had been in this role for only a month and was immediately told, you're going to be promoted next year. And my mentor called me and said, your gifts will make room for you. And like I said, it is from the Bible, and I am going to pull up the exact reference. This is from the King James Version, Proverbs 18:16, and it reads, a man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men. It is something that has been told to me throughout my life, but it took me, I almost feel like it took me going through all of the trials in my career over the past couple of years to recognize how I had this gift and I had stopped using this gift, this being able to write and do all these other things, because I just did not see, I knew that it was a part of who I was and that it always found a way up in there, but I almost had started to doubt it. But when I fully started walking in who I was and this gift that I had, these skills that I had, the opportunity popped up. The path for greatness popped up. The promotion popped up because my gift had made room for me. And I was now being put in front of like people that could like move things. People that I never thought I would have been working for. I have had such great opportunity in the past couple of months because I was walking in my gift. I embraced my gift. It was making room for me. I'm going to read all 4 of those for you again. Number 1, I can only control what I can control. Number 2, hurt people hurt people. Number 3, remember who you are. Number 4, your gifts will make room for you. Let me know what piece of advice has changed your mentality so you can share with others, because that's what we do in this community. Until next time, find a little time to take a break. Bye.